return, listen to yourself, turn like a mini uniform, I'm burning, burning, letting every motive escalating, out of motive, incinerate, light of motive, light of kettle, step down, watch your heel, crush, up, all this speeds, no fear, cavalier, renegade, steer clear, turn them in, applies, you offer the solution, but not from the alternative, and I decline, it's the end of the world as we know it, it's the end of the world as we know it, it's the end of the world as we know it, I feel fine. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. The other nail took the fine, Connor nail took the fine, Mount Sayed, Light Leonard, Bernstein, Leonard, President, Lenny, Wilson, Mr. Becky, birthday party, cheesecake, the jelly bean boom. Patriotic, slam, put next, set right. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine. Oh, it's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. I feel fine.
Yes, it's the end of the world as we know it, and I feel fine. Welcome, Doomsters. It's another Wednesday night here in the Bigger Valley on 93.7 Edge FM, and you are listening to music for the end of the world. And I'm Chris, and I'm joined once again by my trusty sidekick, Cass.
Good evening, Chris, and good evening, everyone.
Evening, Cass. And we have, well, dare I say, an amusing show tonight.
Amusing? That's
amusing. Well, in a way it is because...
way to describe.
Well, I know. I mean,
I'm waiting.
If there's anything amusing about the end of the world, which there isn't. But we're going to be talking about... I was reading a post by Professor Eliot Jacobson, who is a doomer from many years ago, and he's on my feed, and he always has doom quote of the day and stuff like that. And anyway, he has penned an article entitled "The 15 Types of Doomers," Cass.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, because there was an article written just recently, co-authored by Michael Mann, so nothing else has to be said about that, but which sort of really whacks into all of us people who realise the reality of the situation, and was just laying into doomers per se. And so Professor Jacobson felt the need to respond a little bit. And so I read it. Well, you'll see. So I think most people sort of see a little bit of each of the doomers in themselves. Anyway, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Along with, if you hadn't heard, peeps, that here in Australia we have had a climate report released just recently, or I should say, not released, recent. I should say, handed into the government. And they haven't released the report yet. We're trying to get it out into the public, but they haven't released it yet. About the state of what it means for Australia. And so we've had a few interesting takes on it, replies from different people, and one of them was from a former defence chief. What's his name? Chris Barry, Admiral Chris Barry. And he's talking about this national defence strategy. It's actually not this climate report, but the climate report plays into it. Saying about the climate risks that are ignored in this national defence strategy. Former defence chief Chris Barry says. So he says that the federal government either doesn't understand or is hiding from the public the risk of climate change to national security. Chris Barry says that mass migration, food insecurity and other climate risks must be addressed by the government and defence. And so a group of former defence and intelligence officials, I think including Chris Barry, have called for a secret climate security report to be made known for public debate.
Well, I think we talked about this one other time. Remember, there's a whole lot of other American defence.
The American defence.
Everyone. So
they
it's
know
not,
what's going on.
Everyone knows what's going on, and I think that's what they've always said, that the climate factors and not just obviously the immediate things of sea rise and things, but more importantly on that security aspect is exactly that, is that you're going to have mass migration of people and not going to be able to live in their countries, and that means they will be moving.
Well, like he says that the federal government's failed to understand the risk that climate change poses to our nation's security. And it goes on to say that since his retirement from the military, Admiral Chris Barry's turned his mind from war to the climate. And in a report by him and other senior former military intelligence leaders, they say it is astonishing that climate change only rated a passing mention in the government's national defence strategy. I think it was 2 lines or something they go on. It was that the Australian Security Leaders Climate Group warns that the government appears to be without a plan for climate-induced security risks and has kept secret intelligence it has received on climate change's risks to national security secret. Labor's strategy acknowledges that risks including climate change pose an unprecedented challenge to national security, and that the effects of climate change specifically are amplifying issues of poverty, food security, population displacement in our region. But the only direct action laid out by the strategy in relation to climate change is for the ADF, the Australian Defence Force, bases to adopt climate adaptation strategies and energy resilience. That's it. That's all they're going on. Admiral Barry said the government should be moving to an effective wartime footing on climate change. A wartime footing. Instead, it's dedicated precisely 2 sentences of substance to climate impact. It appears that the government either doesn't understand what our scientists are telling them, or they are deliberately hiding the facts from the Australian community, Admiral Barry said. Foreign risk assessments have concluded that climate impacts will drive political instability, greater national insecurity, as global food demand rises and crop yields fall, babe, as we have spoken about on this show before. And if people are ultimately driven from the most climate-exposed parts of the planet, I mean, we're going to have mass migrations in the tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions. Admiral Barry said that Defence and the Parliament should be actively considering mass migration scenarios and other climate-induced risks to national security.
It's just unfortunate, isn't it, that it's framed, because I mean, all of that is very true.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that it is framed in a security context
I know.
rather than a humanitarian world, understanding world help kind of.
He goes on to be quoted, let's talk about the consequences to agriculture, food shortages. Let's talk about the consequences of failures of states in the Pacific Islands in our region. Yeah, like you say, babe, it's unfortunate it's framed in the national defence security.
Because what it's virtually saying is they're saying the security risk is the fact that because of this mass migration is that people are going to try and obviously come to Australia, or they're going to be moving, or your resources here are going to be under threat. And instead of thinking of, okay, how do we actually find a way, like what we're talking about, like an equitable, just collapse, it's like, how do we actually stop? How do we use our military force to stop people coming into Australia?
But I mean, the thing is,
response.
Obviously, these ex-defence people, they're not, you wouldn't call them that progressive and leftist type people, right? But if they are saying, I mean, this is a quote from Barry, if I look at a case study such as the country of Bangladesh, which I think is just a horrible climate consequences story, where will all those people currently living in Bangladesh go when their country is buried under seawater? Well, yeah, that's right, Baz. Where are they going to go? While we fail to do anything about scenarios like that, it makes them more scary rather than saying, what can we do right now, tomorrow, to prevent these things from occurring? Unfortunately, they're still taking the hopium. But at least they're talking about some of the consequences of what is happening.
No, I think exactly as we keep saying. Like, I think I believe that the profile, people starting to come to terms. But I think what's really interesting in the news this week. So on the back of that climate report being released, so you've got our current government who's talking about it, and I saw on the news headlines, 1 million Australians are going to be impacted by sea level rises and all those things. And then interestingly, then they start, they're saying, of course, everyone's then talking about COP and the thing of the zero
And net zero, as if that is.
And then in the same thing, you've got the fact of the current government acknowledging this, talking about it, talking in terms of how to reducing it, and then you have Woodside being signed off.
Oh, I know.
And so you sort of it's just this incredible. I mean, it's no wonder that people are confused, because you try and if you try to follow the media and you try to follow government messaging, you're just being told completely mixed messages. But the only good thing is that in the messaging, it is coming out that people are now actually acknowledging these effects, and ultimately they are not reversible.
Yes. They're acknowledging all the problems, all the crises that are happening, which is good. I mean, at least they're talking about it, like he was going on about part of this National Defence Study report is about how they are committing $14 billion over the next decade to bolstering northern defences in Australia, right, up in the north, which if people overseas don't know it, it is tropical, right, up in the north of Australia. But as they say, that strategic shift to the north will place many of the defence's critical air, land and sea bases in a zone that is projected to become near unlivable. Because the tropics, I mean, the closer you are to the tropics, people are going to be going north and south because
it's
just too damn hot. And wet bulb temperatures are going to be going. So at least they're sort of talking a little bit about it. But,
true. And what music are we having tonight?
Back to the music. Sorry, Cass. I got carried away by an Admiral. So the music tonight, because it is, just recently, we have had the PNG's 50th year celebrations of independence. Is that correct, Cass?
Yesterday, 16th of September. And
we love all the Pacific nations. As we have lived there, we have many friends there, we love the music. And so in honour of PNG's 50-year independence celebrations, we will be playing a few tunes from some lovely PNG artists, which I will start right now. And this one is one of our favourites by George Telek.
Yeah, incredible PNG musician.
Yes, who has collaborated many times. He's a very good friend of Dave Bridie from My Friend the Chocolate Cake, and Not Drowning Waving, who went over to PNG and recorded music with George and a whole bunch of other PNG musicians. But this one is George Telek, and it is A Bebe, which I think is one of your favourites, Cass.
It is.
Wow. So here we go, people. Here is Telek with A Bebe.
Bye. maratulunya dir bebewar pelani ai ora bebai bute pukai lo maratulunya dir bebewar pelani ai bebewar pelani ai bebewar pelan ai.
Rob Shadle and Rob Flynn from Bega Valley Realty breathe a breath of fresh air into the real estate market in the Bega Valley, and it shows. With sold signs up all over the valley, give yourself the green tick of approval and get in contact with Bega Valley Realty. Give them a call on 64920 426. That's 64920 426. Bega Valley Realty, proud sponsors of Edge FM.
Clark Business Advisors is a locally owned and operated accounting firm with over 35 years' experience. With an office in Merimbula, they provide a full range of accounting and business advisory services, which include taxation and compliance, business advisory and administration, payroll and bookkeeping, and accounting software solutions. Owned and operated by Stephen R. Clark, a second-generation accountant who has been practicing since 1983, Clark Business Advisors is a trusted name in the local and greater community. You can reach them on 6495 1320. Clark Business Advisors are a long-time sponsor of 93.7 Edge FM, Bega Community Radio.
Thank you, dear sponsors, who we are very, very appreciative of here at 93.7 Edge FM, where you are listening to music for the end of the world. And that song that was on before, of course, was from George Telek.
And Dave Bridie, that's a collaboration song, that song.
Yes, very nice.
Yep, it's about, the song uses the metaphor of the butterfly to represent the spirit of ancestors, sung in local dialect.
A bebe. Love it. All right, getting back on to what we are talking about today, which, of course, is Professor Eliot Jacobson's little article that he's written. He's got a The Collapse of Everything blog, which I can highly recommend. And he has written something called The 15 Types of Doomers, Cass. And he writes, as Sam Mitchell famously said, if you ask 15 doomers to give a definition of what it means to be a doomer, you'll get 16 different answers, or even 20. So he has decided to list 15 famous doomers that he could think of. So he's matched a name to each of the categories. And he admits, yes, this post is a reaction to all those crazy strawman attacks against doomers just recently in published books and articles, such as The 3 Types of Doomers Described in the Language of Climate Politics by Genevieve Gunter, and most recently The Personal Attack, which I was talking about before, Cass, against Professor Eliot in the newly published Science Under Siege by Michael Mann and Peter Hotez. Complete rubbish. Don't worry about those dooms. Okay, number 1, Cass. The social media doomer. The social media doomer is a relentless online chronicler who dissects mainstream climate narratives with a sharp eye for inconsistencies and omissions. Thrives on blogs and social media, exposing what they see as the sanitised version of scientific warnings that fail to convey the full horror of the impending collapse. This type rails against institutional denial, accusing scientists, governments, media of downplaying the severity to avoid panic. They document real-time environmental catastrophes as evidence that the tipping points have already been crossed. look at the melting sea ice or the warming oceans. They view climate change not as a future threat but as an unfolding apocalypse where human denial mirrors the very hubris causing it. And by amplifying suppressed voices and historical parallels, they prepare audiences for adaptation in a world of loss, insisting that acknowledgement is the first step towards any meaningful response, however futile it may seem. And he's got the example is Gail Zawacki, who's a well-known doomer. And he includes a name of a person, a fairly well-known person in doomer circles, I suppose. Not just in doomer circles, and also a quote, which is, "Today, despite increasingly ominous warnings from the scientists, we're not taking climate change seriously. In fact, we're making things much worse, as we discussed on this showcase." Do you see a little bit of yourself in that description?
Yeah, well,
I
absolutely.
think I am more than you, maybe.
Well, in the sense of, yes, of looking looking through different things that are posted or things on social media, and you sort of, I mean, you always have that little bit of a critical eye to be, what they're saying or what they're, definitely the emission part I relate to. Mm-hmm. I relate to that particularly.
And depending on what particular informative sites you're looking at, the mainstream fail to convey the full horror of what is happening. I mean, there's nothing worse than extinction, is there? I mean, that's the big one, right? Genocide's big. Domestic violence, sexual, the Me Too movement, all that's big, but surely extinction outranks them all. I mean, there's nothing worse than that, is there?
Pretty serious stuff.
Yeah. Okay, and number 2, then we'll have another song, The Radical Ecologist Doomer. So the radical ecologist doomer sees climate change as the inevitable outcome of industrial civilization's war on nature, advocating for the dismantling of oppressive systems through direct action and cultural revolution. So they frame the crisis as a symptom of deeper pathologies: unchecked capitalism, and we've spoken about that before, patriarchy, and anthropocentrism, human exceptionalism, that treats the earth as a resource to exploit. So they reject incremental reforms or green technologies as distractions, as we have spoken about it before here, Cass, insisting that only a return to indigenous wisdom and biodiversity respecting lifestyles can avert total collapse, or at least honour the planet in its dying throes. We can't avert it. Their worldview is holistic, viewing climate doom as intertwined with social injustice, where the powerful sacrifice the vulnerable. While mourning the loss of wild places, they find purpose in defending what's left, warning that without radical change, survivors will inherit a barren world. This doomer type embodies fierce love for the more than human world, animals, and urging us to grieve and fight simultaneously. An example, Derek Jensen. And their quote, "They want us to believe that consumer choices are the only way we can change things. But if we accept that, then it means that they have won." You see a little bit of yourself in that one, Cass?
Definitely.
I think so. Yeah. I mean, war on nature. And we've spoken about the greenwashing, the green renewable business as usual by another name, really. So I can acknowledge that a little bit too. All right, that's the first 2 of Professor Jacobson's types of doomers. I think it's time for another P&G song. And I am going... This came out while we were living in the Solomons, Cass. And it's by Justin Wellington, a P&G artist. It's a very old song. It's been covered many, many times, but he puts a really good twist on it. And it is Aiko Aiko, My Bestie.
Hey, yo, big wave. Tell them I come. Small time alongside JW. My bestie and your bestie sit down by the fire. Your bestie says she want parties, so can we make these flames go higher? Talking about hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. Aiko ane. Chucking more fina anane. Chucking more fina ane. Start my truck, let's all jump in. Here we go together. Nice cool breeze and big palm trees. I tell you, life don't get no better. Talking about hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. Aiko, ane. Chakimo fina anane. Chakimo fina ane. Okay, your mama ngwele. Step on the dancing floor. Hips be winding, DJ rewinding. Take it to the island way. Okay, your baby mama. Put on your dancing shoes. One drop it, pop it low now. Take it to the max now. Jam in this small jam way. Jam in this small jam way. My bestie and your bestie dancing by the fire. Your bestie says she want parties, so can we make these flames go higher? Talking about hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. Aiko, ane. Chucking more fina, anane. Chucking more fina, Let me take it from here. Solomon girl straight up, right hoochie mama. Make me party non-stop in a island banda. Swing those hips and back it up to me ragga. A chance for party ladies do the doggy doggy. I'm drumming island reggae, rapping blue, green and yellow. Me tapping on me beat, make a slow wine for me baby. Speakers pumping, people jumping. We drumming the island way. Shout out to the good time crew all across the islands. Grab your shoes, let me 2 by 2, and now we shining bright like diamonds. Talking about hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. Aiko, ane. Chucking more fina, anane. Chucking more fina, yes, one drop it, pop it low now. Take it to the max now. Jump in the small jam way. Wind it. Wind up, go down, wind up, go down. Twist your body backward. We go left, we go right. Turn it around and forward. Wind up, go down again. Wind up, go down, wind up, go down. Twist your body backward. Twist it back. We go left, we go right. Turn it around and forward. My bestie and your bestie dancing by the fire. Your bestie says she want parties, so can we make these flames go higher? Talking about hey now, hey now, hey now, hey now. Aiko, ane. Chucking more fina, anane. Chucking more fina, chucking more fina, chucking more fina, chucking more fina.
Ah, nice. Aiko. Justin Wellington. Remember that song, Cass?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
It's a great song. I mean,
Yes.
I really like the Grateful Dead's cover of it too, but yeah, he does a really good version of it. All right, Doomers, it is now 7:31. This is Music for the End of the World, hosted by myself, Cass, Chris, and my trusty sidekick, Cass. I do that every week. And we are talking about Professor Jacobson's types of doomers. And the third one is the anti-capitalist doomer. This is, for example, Naomi Klein. So they posit that climate change is the death knell of neoliberal economics, where profit-driven exploitation has pushed the planet beyond the safe limits. So they argue that fossil fuel dependency and endless growth are incompatible with survival. This type of critiques how corporations and governments prioritise short-term gains over planetary health. Well, duh. You can see that everywhere, can't you? Using the crisis to entrench power through surveillance and austerity. And that's sort of pretty true too. Their message is urgent. Capitalism's logic ensures doom unless we dismantle it now. Well, I mean, it is doom. Nothing is going to stop it. Redistributing resources equitably before the tipping points lock in irreversible warming. So, yeah, I'm a little bit like, of course, justice would be nice. We should always try and live a good life and seek justice, wouldn't you say, Cass?
Absolutely. But I do definitely identify, with that, because I think capitalism is absolutely our consumerism, our selfishness, our lack of connection with nature, all of those things. Yeah.
Up to number 4, the ethical pessimist doomer. Roy Scranton. I haven't come across Roy before. The quote is, the bad news we must confront is that we're all going to die. We're always all going to die. It's just there ain't going to be anyone coming after us.
I think that one might be one closely related to you.
No, but the ethical, they confront the inevitability of climate catastrophe with stoic wisdom. I am pretty stoic, Cass, I would say. I'm a stoic person.
And wise.
Urging us to find meaning in a doomed world rather than just futilely trying to avert it. So they view collapse as a profound existential challenge. They predict societal fragmentation, but advocate for localised, just like Just Collapse, low-tech adaptations, gardens, community gardens, skill sharing, grief rituals, all that sort of stuff to try and navigate the chaos. While acknowledging mass die-offs, they reject nihilism, positing that doom frees us to pursue authentic lives unburdened by consumerism. There you go.
Yeah.
That's a new take on it.
Yeah, I think it's a good take. I think
'Cause
sometimes,
I can tend to be a little bit nihilistic, I think.
but I
Did you
think
say that about me? Pragmatic fatalism. That's what Eliot calls them. They say accept the end of the world as we know it and then build small islands of sanity in the storm.
yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that's we talk about those themes quite a lot.
I think so too. Number 5. This is James Lovelock, the example. And his quote is, "It will be death on a grand scale from famine and lack of water." So the Gaia hypothesis doomer, they interpret climate change through the lens of Earth as a self-regulating superorganism, now rebelling against this parasitic human overreach. And they warn that we've disrupted Gaia's balance, triggering runaway feedbacks, e.g. methane releases, ice melts, all that sort of stuff. They lament humanity's evolutionary shortcomings, our stupidity in ignoring natural laws, leading to billions perishing from famine, thirst, conflict. They dismiss the geoengineering as hubris, which it is, all the cloud seeding and stuff, and advocate for minimalism and nuclear options as last resorts. I can't believe they actually would even consider nuclear options in any resort.
No, exactly.
That's a new one for me. Viewing the crisis as Gaia's immune response, they foresee a die-off reducing populations to sustainable levels. Oh, okay, with survivors in polar refuges. So they're still on the hopium a little bit going, because ain't nothing going to be. I mean, an extinction is an extinction. If there's one person, 2 people left, it's not extinction.
I know, but there's still that thing of that extinction, the final point of extinction, can still be a long time. And I think they're talking about the state that you will get to, and then that goes on. Then how long can people sustain in an unsustainable world? But
they challenge optimism, insisting we're past the point of return, and any solutions are delusions, delaying the inevitable purge. I mean, they look upon like this superorganism, like the Earth, and sometimes we've spoken about it before on the show, how we're sort of a bad case of fleas, and Mother Gaia is swatting us off. Number 6, the civil disobedience doomer, Cass. This could be like Roger Hallam, for example, who has been in jail many times. He was over in an Extinction Rebellion over in the UK. And so they believe that mass non-violent disruption is the only way to jolt societies from climate complacency, even as they acknowledge the crisis' unstoppable momentum. They frame it as a moral imperative. This type, often an activist leader, as Roger Hallam is, calculates worst-case scenarios, billions displaced, ecosystems obliterated, to justify radical tactics like road blockages, hunger strikes. They reject electoral politics, pushing for citizens' assemblies to enforce emissions cuts. Collapse, in their view, looms from tipping points already breached, leading to societal breakdown and authoritarian backlash. And just look at what's happening in America. They warn that without immediate upheaval, we'll inherit a world of fortified elites and suffering masses, which I can see that happening too, actually. They embody defiant optimism amid doom, proving that in free fall, resistance builds solidarity and legacy. And their quote is, "I'm going to tell you the worst case scenario with climate change. We're looking at the end of most life on Earth." And number 7, and then we're going to have another song, the near-term human extinction doomer, Cass. They fixate on non-linear climate dynamics, where small changes trigger cascading failures, ending industrial society within decades. I reckon decades is very optimistic myself anyway. They pore over data showing Arctic amplification, permafrost thaw, ocean heat spikes, NTHE, I'll just call it that, not near-term human extinction. They dismiss gradual warming narratives as dangerously misleading, insisting that feedback loops will spike temperatures catastrophically. They predict grid failures, food shortages, pandemics, leaving no time or room for adaptation. Collapse isn't abstract. It isn't abstract. It's the heat dome frying cities, the megastorms drowning coasts. This doomer challenges scientists' conservatism, accusing them of lying to protect careers. I don't know about that, if they're lying to protect their careers, but...
But that's what also it's interesting, isn't it? Because if there is science out there, there are people who are providing statistics, and yet why do the other scientists not acknowledge? Why do they not?
Why don't more
agree?
scientists come out and tell it like it is? Like for his example here, for this one, for the near-term human extinction doomer, is Guy McPherson, and we listen to a lot of Guy, and yes, he is correct. And his quote is, "I can't imagine that there will be a human left on the earth in 10 years. I'm pretty much with you there, Guy. So I reckon that's the closest one I have the most in common with, I think, out of all of them, Cass.
Well, I relate to a lot of that.
Of course.
But I think where, as I said, when we talk about it, and where I differ is the time frame. And I think you go to any of these, you listen to what people are saying in all these different spaces in the doomer space, and that is the one thing I suppose that it is unknown, and so I most probably on the time period I maybe don't necessarily agree with that. I agree with everything else that they're saying, but I just feel that I know that I agree with the I agree with the escalation and the loops and the all of that part of it, but I don't necessarily see that same time frame.
And then this next one, which for his example, he's got Professor William Rees, who's one of my faves, is the ecological footprint doomer.
I like it.
Who quantifies humanity's oversized impact, revealing how our global appetite exceeds planetary boundaries by 50%, dooming us to overshoot collapse. And there you have it. They expose the cultural denial of biophysical realities. Thank you, Bill. Where renewables can't replace fossil slaves without massive lifestyle cuts. And this type warns of correction, coercion, or collapse. Population crashes via pandemics, wars, enforced austerity. They debunk the green growth myths, radical degrowth, relocalisation. In a world choking on excess, they advocate humility before nature's ledger. And I agree a lot with Bill
I definitely relate on the footprint.
Yeah. All right, peeps. We're up to number 10, I think. But first, we have some more music. And we have been playing some P&G tunes, but now I am going to play a request from someone up the coast who may be coming down to visit on the weekend. And what a great choice it is too. Pavement, one of my favourite bands. And this is one of my favourite songs of theirs, Shady Lane.
Blind date with the chancer, we had oysters and dry lancers, and the check when it arrived, we went Dutch, 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 Dutch. A redder shade of neck on a whiter shade of trash, and this emery board is giving me a rash. I'm flat out, you're so beautiful to look at when you cry. Freeze, don't move, you've been chosen as an extra in the movie adaptation of the sequel to your life. A shady lane, everybody wants
Need a broken window fixed? Glass doors or shower screen? For all types of glass replacement or mirrors cut to size, call Bega Valley Glass on 0417 545 498. For prompt service, whether domestic or commercial, Bega Valley Glass are the experts. Remember, call Corgi on 0417 545 498 for all your glass requirements. Bega Valley Glass, sponsor 93.7 Edge FM.
Thank you. Yes.
Don't move.
All right, peeps.
You've been chosen.
Oh my gosh, we've only got 30 minutes left, guys. And we've got 5 Doomer types to get through. Number 10, the Deep Adaptation Doomer. And of course, it's going to be none other example there. They embrace societal collapse as inevitable, shifting focus from mitigation to resilience, grief and mutual support. They map deep adaptation as navigating patients through relinquishment and restoration, food shortages. This type critiques mainstream environmental denial and limits arguing points like IT self-guarantee. Rather than fairy tale fixes, they foster communities practicing non-attachment and solidarity, preparing for the disruptive services and conflicts that will inevitably be coming. This doom is radical honesty. We're in free fall, but how we fall matters.
Don't stare.
I really like that. It's a little like Just Collapse, you know. It's important. We still live in the life.
No, not me.
And their framework empowers ordinary people to build anti-fragile lives.
Stress.
And the quote is, we gather and rebel not with a vision of a fairy tale future where we have fixed climate, but because it is right to do. And I really like that. Number 11, the population bomb. Alarmed at explosive human numbers coupled with the assumption to ignite climate infernos through deforestation and emissions. Quote there, a surge in the world's population means there's only 10% chance of the planet global Number 12, the collapsitarian WASF is Sam Mitchell. They meticulously log the unravelling of society through newsletters, videos, forums, stripping away any hopium to reveal the collapse projections. Opium-free for decades, they dissect the use of wildfires, bankruptcies and music migrations and milestone their ethos.
You've got music. You've got music playing, so people can't hear you. Just have one of your slides up, potentially.
Oh, sorry.
Hopefully, it was nice music.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you,
I don't know what was playing.
Thank you, dear listeners, for alerting us to that one.
Yeah. I wonder what was playing. Shady Lane again. I mean, I do love Shady Lane. Okay, so the collapsitarian WASF doomer, like Sam Mitchell, for example, quote, unapologetic doomer, unrepentant collapsitarian, hopium-free for 20 years. Number 13. Now, don't tell me I'm this one, babe. The know-it-all doomer.
I'll give you the definition and
They
the
wield
example.
graphs and metrics like weapons, proving climate models underestimate the speed of doom through the ocean heat anomalies and aerosol masking drops. They blog obsessively on exponential rises and extremes, debunking GDP resilience myths as empirical fiction. They expose how denial permeates academia and policy with growth fantasies, ignoring the biophysical collapse. They predict hyperinflation, blackouts, and extinctions cascading into human near extinction by 2040. This doomer's rigour cuts through the noise, empowering readers to verify the abyss themselves. In an age of spin, their transparency is revolutionary, turning stats into elegies for lost futures. And the example they have there is he has himself, Professor Eliot Jacobson. Because he's got the doom quote of the day. He's got the doom statistic of the day. And the quote is, the idea that climate change will just take off only a small margin of economic growth is not founded on anything empirical. It's just kind of wishful thinking. And number 14, the post-doom spiritual doomer. So they transcend grief to post-doom, finding gifts in accepting climate apocalypse as evolutionary impetus. And he, for example, he's got Michael Dowd, who unfortunately I think is no longer with us, but he was a former preacher. So he sort of weaves theology with ecology, viewing collapse as divine reckoning or cosmic correction, urging humility. They counsel the stages of mourning, denial to integration, transforming terror into purpose through rituals and conversations. Their message, beyond despair lies freedom. Living joyfully in finite time, unburdened by saving the unsavable. Blending science and spirit, they unite faiths in eco-lamentation. Warning rigid doctrines bind us to signs. This doom is wisdom, embrace the end as a teacher, fostering compassion in chaos, in a dying world's embrace. They discover resurrection, not as a planet, but souls attuned to a greater whole. And his quote, he has from Michael Dowd, find the gift beyond mere acceptance that ongoing climate change and abrupt climate change are already underway. He was great, Michael Dowd. I saw a few talks with him, and he's a really kind person. Because we've spoken about the stages of grief before, Cass, and how you deal with collapse. How do you deal with it? It's like, it's a tough thing. And he was, he was really, really helpful. All right, we've got one last one piece, but before that, we've got another song. And of course, no music for the end of the world is complete without a particular song by a particular band, which of course is the Gimmies. And I'm playing a song that I've just come across. It's actually originally by Lionel Richie, I think. I don't really listen to Lionel Richie much. Hello?
Oh, yes. Lionel Richie for sure.
Yeah?
Yep.
Anyway.
I haven't heard this either, so I'll be very interested to hear what they do with
Doomers.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello by Me First and the Gimme Gimmies.
I love you, yeah. I long to see the sunlight in your hair and tell you time and time again how much I care. I sometimes feel my heart will overflow. Hello, I've just got to let you know, 'cause I wonder where you are and I wonder what you do. Are you somewhere feeling lonely? Or is someone loving you? Tell me how to win your heart, for I haven't got a clue. But let me start by saying I love you. Somewhere feel lonely, or is someone loving you? Tell me how to win
Hello, Doomers. Yes, that was the Gimmies with Hello. What a cracker.
You turn your thing down. Just checking that you got.
Yes,
the
I have the music turned down now, Cass.
Good
Thank you so much for
job.
pointing that out to me.
Good job.
Yeah, it's just us talking. It is coming up to the end of the show, Doomsters, and we have one last Doomer type. Well, this is according to Professor Jacobson. Number 15, the overshoot ecologist Doomer, Cass. They elucidate how humanity's drawdown of nature's capital, all our resources, fossil fuels, soils, etc., propels irreversible climate havoc and revolutionary upheaval. They anatomize cargoism, our delusion of endless bounty, leading to bottlenecks of scarcity and conflict. This type, a sociologist, charts ecological antagonism turning emotional, as overshoot breeds drawdowns revenge. Superstorms, crop failures, species wipeouts. Solutions? None. We're committed to crash, demanding worldviews shift from expansion to restraint. This doomer's clarity pierces anthropocentrism. Human exceptionalism, I'd rather say. Insisting understanding context averts needless suffering. In the overshoot world, they advocate ethical dissent. Does that sort of strike you as something familiar you've heard before? Stewarding remnants with wisdom. And their legacy, awakening to limits before the bill arrives fully. I mean, that's just collapse, isn't it? Living a good life as we go down the gurgler, trying to awaken everyone to what's happening before the bill fully arrives, before it all goes completely pear-shaped and anarchy, chaos reigns supreme. So, I don't know about you, Cass, but I find a little bit of myself in all those
I
doomer
think it's really interesting because as it went through and I was thinking, there'll be different, and maybe there's some that I relate less to, but no, there's threads within all of the things that people are saying of that sort of classification, and obviously goes to show just how many ways that people are interpreting the situation and dealing with it, and what they're how they grapple the situation. I think it's really, really interesting, and I don't think I could say that I was only one, because even though you might identify strongly with one of those categorizations, is that really there's lots of I can relate really to some part of all of those 15 different types. Yeah, interesting, really interesting.
Yeah, and reading the comments at the end of his article are really cool. I just want to read one comment from one guy who says that I suspect that most doomers see a bit of each of these categories in themselves, but I suspect you missed a category, the realist doomer. This type of doomer sees that humans are damaging the environment that supports them because, as a species, they act like all other species, but have evolved dangerous capabilities that will ultimately lead to the extinction of many, or most, of all those other species, as well as putting itself at extreme risk of extinction. This doomer sees collapse as inevitable because humans can't become a non-species. We are part of the natural world. They can't really change the essential behaviour of all species to maximise the throughput of resources and energy and to reproduce. And well, I reckon so. Well done, Mike. That was Mike who wrote that comment.
I'm sure people could come up with a whole lot with
as Eliot says,
evermore.
there's just 15 that he came up with AI to help him. He said there's probably heaps more. And it's like, anyway, I just thought it'd be a fun thing to talk about. Well, fun as in, if there isn't any fun in extinction. I thought it'd be
Food for thought.
Food for thought.
Food for thought.
Food for thought. We'll be back next week with some more serious topics. All right, it has come up to 8 o'clock, Doomsters. Remember, if you would like to hear old episodes, they are on the YouTube channel, and I'll be putting this one on in a couple of days, and I'll whack a link up there on my Facebook feed. I reckon if you typed in music for the end of the world, or what's the acronym for that, Cass?
I'm going to write it on your book.
Anyway, work it out yourselves. In YouTube, you should be able to come across it. Either way, make sure that you try and enjoy your life. And as I always like to say, collapse is inevitable, but justice is not. And we can all make a little bit of a difference on our way down. Down over the cliff, I mean. And keep building all those relationships locally in your community, and look after each other. Because it's pretty tough, isn't it, Cass? Facing extinction.
Sure is.
Collapse. Yeah. All right. What are we going to go out with? One last song. And look, I said I wouldn't talk about anything that's happening, any political things happening overseas tonight. As we know, lots of things have been happening overseas, i.e. Charlie Kirk over in the States. But I'm not going to be talking anything about that. But I am playing a song by Jesse Wells entitled Red, which of course is the colour of the Republican Party. And he's got some great lyrics in here. Do you like Jesse Wells, Cass?
I do. I think he's a...
So we'll sign off, Doomsters. And here is Red. We'll see you next week. Here is Red with Jesse Wells. So it's good night from me.
And it's good night from me.
Good night, Cass.
I got a red house and a red car, runs on big red batteries. Used to be blue 15 minutes ago, but they turned red just for me. I got me a red horse and I ride it. I got some blue friends, they're the best. Used to ride around the world on a big jet plane they call the Lolita Express. I got a red tie and it's 10 miles long and it matches my red hat. I got me a red bird and a red fish, a red dog and a red cat. And I got me a red pen and I use it. I got a big red chainsaw too. My red friend likes that white powder, makes his arms do weird salutes. When the war gets here, we're all gonna hold hands. All the Baptists and the Catholics, all the Marxists and the fascists. When the war gets here, we're gonna get on the level. Everyone will look a little bit nicer when you finally meet the devil. I had a red dog on a red day looking for a thank you dressed in blue. If you want to win a war, my friend, you know you better wear a suit. I got me a red bulldog, technocratic, bootstrap tugging buddy. He wrote an elegy for a people he don't know, and it ain't funny. There's a deep swamp and I'll drain it, for my people are in danger. Who would have ever thought the deep state were the National Park Rangers? I got some red pills in a bottle, I got black and blue ones too. All the pills are all the same, the illusion is you choose. When the war gets here, we're all gonna hold hands. All the cowboys and the hippies, put away their strange misgivings. When the war gets here, we're gonna get on the level. Everyone will look a little bit nicer when you finally meet the devil. When the king's got friend and foe, and every nation knows his wrath. When he's dead in 15 years, we'll be here and they'll be back. When we're all hung out